All right, good morning, folks. Let's go through our trades from yesterday. As you can see, we laddered into 6 different trades or added 4 covered call positions, and then we sold 2 different put positions. Let's go through the puts first, PTON and Snap. Okay, so let's go to PTON first. Okay, so in PTON, we currently have this put expiring today. Now, I'll tell you this. When I was looking at this particular trade, if we go back, let's go to PTON. I sold that at 10:38 in the morning. So let's go to the charts. We'll go here and we'll actually pull up the 1 day, 1 minute. So PTON, 1 day, 1 minute. Okay, so at 10:38 yesterday, I'm gonna have to go all the way over here. So at 10:38, we were at 31. We were close to 32. Let's just round and say 32, 10:38 right here. Okay, so yeah, 31.90. Let's just say 31.90, $32. And so I went ahead and said, okay, the likelihood of us dropping close to 10% over the next day and a half is relatively low. Of course, now we are seeing we're a little bit more challenged than I'd like to be going into expiration Friday. So I went ahead and sold a put just a little bit lower. So we currently have the 20 or the 30 on for today. I sold the 29. Okay. So with the move down over the last couple of days in PTON, I sold one still between 6 and 10% below the money here. But as you can see, we have moved down a little bit. And so I do have my mark at 30. So we'll do something with PTON if I have to at 30. And then we do have our mark at 29 that expires next week. Okay, so that's the trade. We sold this 29 below the market, thinking that this one would expire worthless. And I wanted to go ahead and get some decent premium for that. So that is where we are at with this particular trade. Let's go to our other one. We sold a 36 put in Snap. Snap, in my opinion, is in no way threatened right now. I do have a 37 on. This one's just going to expire worthless. And so because we're, again, pretty far out of the money, I went ahead and sold a 36. Okay, so a 36 there. And we'll do the same thing. We'll let those shares get assigned if Snap closes below 36, and we'll begin rolling the wheel. Otherwise, we'll let that expire worthless. Now, some of the other, these are similar to the Kroger trade we had earlier in the week. So let's go to FUBO. FUBO saw a pretty terrible day yesterday. This is going to expire worthless at 12 unless we see some crazy news out. I feel very confident in that this is not going to spike 20%. And so I went ahead and sold, and I also have this put here to ladder into more shares. And then I sold the 11.5. Now, one of the things with these types of trades, and this is still close to 3-4% on the capital that I have allocated. So this is a good, this is good. I like that percentage right there. So one of the things with FUBO, right, is I want to make sure that I keep my break even. So I don't want to sell this 10, right? Because my cost basis is what? My cost basis is 1161. I don't want to sell a call that's below my break even, because then I lock in a loss, right? And so I want to collect premium, lower my cost basis, and then get to the point where I'm making a specific percentage on those shares that I've been holding. And so that's why I sold at 11.5 rather than closer to at the money, because I don't want to lock in that loss. Okay, so then we go to Hood. So Robinhood. Exact same scenario here in Robinhood. I have this expiring worthless right there. 2 pennies left on this particular trade. So I went ahead again, sold for about 1.5% here. We are seeing a little bit of a spike, which is good. Not a spike, but a nice little move up. But that's also because the market's doing a little bit better. We're up $2.50 in our S&Ps right now. And so we have Hood. Again, I didn't sell right at the money because I don't want to lock in that loss. My cost basis on these shares is somewhat high, right, at 1467. So I sold the 14. I got decent credit here for this one. And so that's the exact same scenario there in Hood. We've talked about PTON Riot. Riot's going to be the same exact scenario here. And you're seeing a theme as to why I got into all these early, right? This is going to expire worthless. And so I sold closer, but not at the money. Again, great credit here. I mean, this is 5% for a little bit out of the money. I mean, this is generating not quite 5%. Let's say 3% there. At the money is generating 4%. So you do have really solid premium in these types of securities that you can generate. And then last, we talked about Snap LABU. I've traded LABU relatively well this year, but we have seen this move down. I'm intending to just let this expire worthless. We sold one closer to at the money. Again, great, 3% on these particular shares. Here to sell this, I actually think I got it for $80, if I remember that right. Yeah, so I sold it for 80. And so I feel good about that. I like where my break even is. And for all of these, if they end up closing above the contract price, I'll take the gains that I will have on the underlying plus the premium that I've collected, move on and find other securities or re-engage these with puts on that side. As we're looking to today, just very quickly go through the portfolio. I'll obviously be adding a call here in BBY. So I'll be adding a call in BBY for next week. Great premium here. So we'll see where I end up putting it there. CCL, I'll be adding a call here in CCL as well. This one's looking like I'll be able to do it at 23. So I'll probably do this right at 23 there. Ford, I'll sell a put here in Ford. Ideally, between 3 and 4, I'll let this expire worthless. Sell this put there. We've talked about FUBO. GDX, I'm good for next week. I have this put here in GDX. Hood, we've talked about. KR, we talked about yesterday. LabD, not going to do anything with LabU. We just talked about PTON. We just talked about this is a credit spread here. A really long credit spread that I've rolled in the Qs, right? So, I mean, not even really worth discussing. Riot, we just talked about RSX. Okay, so Russia. See where we land on Russia. I've traded Russia relatively well. A lot of premium left because there's so much geopolitical uncertainty right now. I say we continue to take advantage of it. I mean, this is generating 4, 5, 6% here. And so my thought is to just sell a 24.5, right? Here, depending on where we end up, maybe even a 24. So that's my thoughts there in Russia. RUTs, this, got a couple credit spreads on in RUT. Snap, we've talked about. TGT, we're getting close to this credit spread. Still got about 20%. I'm sorry, 10%, 20 points left there. TQQQ, we've talked about UVXY. We've talked about VIX and VXX. XBI, we're here in XBI. I would love to see us just continue to stay between these lines here. Get this off for a profit. Even if it's a small profit, I'm just going to take my money and run. And Yeti, we've got this May 20 expiration. Plenty of room here for Yeti. Just continue to let the daily theta tick away. And that is the portfolio right now. We'll look through here to see if there are any other securities I either want to sell put on. I'm a little interested in Russia, but there's so much geopolitical uncertainty that I'd rather stay covered, right? I'd rather stay covered and not sell a put, but we'll see. You can sell a 23, right? It's only 5%, but you can sell 10% down for a decent amount right there. So we'll see. I may, depending on what happens, sell a put. But like I said, we'll take a look and see what happens here. I'll begin making a lot of moves probably around 3 o'clock today. Want to let as much theta kind of eke out as possible. I might even pop on the Might even pop on the Discord channel and run through some of these live if I'm able to. Okay, well, that's where we're at for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, let's have the end to what has been a good week, albeit a volatile week, but a good week nonetheless. Happy trading.